Point number 2, intelligent design or natural design. Can something come out of nothing by chance? A. Theistic creation account. Scientific accuracy and order. Just like every watch requires a watchmaker, every design has a designer. As verified by the Anthropic Principle, the universe is formed with a highly complex design for a purpose beyond reasonable doubt. And its designer is the Creator God in the Bible. So God is the intelligent designer of the universe. So the very first statement of the Bible is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It is apparent that God thought the fact of creation significant enough to put it first. God's creation account in the Bible is absolutely point blank and thus negate any other hypothetical proposition against it. The Bible does not discuss the subject of evolution or any other possible creation. It is very clear, first chapter, first verse in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So God is the origin of all creation. B. Naturalistic view, atheistic evolution. The world of nature is a closed system of a purely material cause and effects. Humanistic evolutionists are resolute in their position that evolution is an unguided, unsupervised, mindless, purposeless, impersonal process. Life on Earth is nothing more than a cosmic accident. Natural selection does it all. Evolution is based on this presupposition. Give time more time, and give chance a chance. And this is a shaky premise. Actually, it's not a science. Evolution begins and ends with a hopelessly illogical premise. Nothing plus chance equals everything. You must assume by faith that somehow it occurred. The tragedy is that evolution is a 19th century philosophy that has been debunked by 21st century science. If there is no God, why is there something rather than nothing at all? We see that the atheists have no plausible answer to this question. Darwinists say that evolution has happened by natural selection, or by chance. But the term natural selection is a misnomer, since the process of evolution is by definition without intelligence. There is no selection at all going on. It's a blind process, like unguided, unsupervised, mindless, purposeless, impersonal process, without any proof, evidence. That's not science. So now there comes the question, science or religion argument. So James Tour, nanoscientist, said, only a rookie who knows nothing about science would say science takes you away from faith. If you really study science, it will bring you close to God. That's true. Darwin himself was once accused of considering natural selection an active power of a deity. But it seems that natural selection actually is the deity of a God of the gaps for the Darwinists of today. For the Darwinists, natural selection, time, and chance does it all. Mutations are nearly always harmful, and time and chance to the Darwinists no good. At best, natural selection may be responsible for minor changes in living species, but it cannot explain the origin of the basic forms of life. This is not science but the dogma of secular religion. So even evolution is based on their faith that all things evolved from nothing by chance or by natural selection. So that's their faith. It's another kind of religion. So God was science. Naturalistic philosophy had worked out a strategy to prevent the theistic view from arising. It labels naturalism as a science and atheism as religion. The former is then classified as knowledge, and the latter as just mere belief. Students in the public school are thus to be taught at an early age that evolution is a fact. In short, the proposition that God was in any way involved in our creation is effectively our Lord, and implicitly negated. What about the limits of science? Peter Medawar, Oxford immunologist, says, science is incomparably the most successful enterprise human beings have ever engaged upon. But there is indeed a limit upon sciences, very likely by the existence of a question that science cannot answer. And then no conceivable advance of science would empower it to answer such questions as, how did everything begin? What are we all here for? And what is the point of living? And where are we going from here? Besides some questions like, where are we ultimately going from here? And the definition of a politics or economy, music or art. These are not the things that the science can give. Something like the government system of freedom, human rights. How can science define about these issues? And there comes another very important subject, DNA. Now, the complexity of DNA is not the only problem for Darwinists. Its origin is also a problem. A difficult chicken-egg dilemma exists because DNA relies on proteins for its production, but proteins rely on DNA for their production. So which come first, protein or DNA? One must already be in existence for the other to be made. You've got to have a self-replicating organism or Darwinian evolution to take place, but you can't have a self-replicating organism until you have the information necessary in DNA. How does the hierarchical arrangement of cells, tissues, organs, and the body plans develop? Darwinists don't have an answer. It's not even on their radar. The bounty of information in DNA really warrants the conclusion that an intelligent designer must have infused genetic material with its protein building instructions. So why do English molecular biologists or Dawkins and others in their camp ignore the plain implications of the evidence staring them in the face? Because their preconceived ideology, naturalism, prevents them from even considering an intelligent cause. This is bad science and it leads to wrong conclusions. Now, this is a reflection point. We need to think about this. Science attempts to explain what has happened and how it came to pass. How could a miracle against natural laws happen? It attempts to explain things in terms of efficient causation. Christian theology does not propose to tell us how the universe came into being. It tells us why God made it, because the term how contradicts to Almighty Creator. The biblical question starts from why God has done this, why God has spoken to us